Well, hello everyone. My name is Alejandro Cardenio Rodriguez, and in this video we are going to see how to cook crystal meth. Wait a minute. Well, hello everyone. My name is Alejandro Cardenio Rodriguez, and this is a video for Intensive English 2 class at the National University of Colombia. Since the topic is free, I will talk about opioids and the problem of public health in the United States. Okay then, it is probable that very few of you people are used to know about chemistry, but the important thing here is to know that most of the medicines in the pharmaceutical market has an active principle, which is a chemical substance able to create a specific response in our bodies. In that order of ideas, we can say that these opioids are substances which comes from the opium poppy plants, and they are used in medicine as analgesics, but they also cause hallucinogenic effects too. But we must notice that there are some opioids which doesn't came from the plants. For example, encephalins and endorphins are produced endogenously, that is, inside ourselves. Alright, all of us in our life have suffered headaches or some other annoying pain. Let's say that there are two kinds of way to proceed. First, we are mad about the pain, but not enough. So we can take regular analgesics, such as paracetamol, aspirin, naproxen, ibuprofen, and so on. But when we have so much pain that we feel that our life is miserable, pointless, and everyone near us deserves to suffer our infinite misanthropy, at the point that we are planning in our dirty heads to buy an AK-47 to kill them all, we can resort to strong analgesics, right? In this case, morphine, codeine, oxycodone, fentanyl, and tramadol could relieve us. The thing is that these strong analgesics could have negative long-term responses. Some of them produces state of euphoria, yes, but if we avoid use of them lastly, we will develop tolerance and dependence, which is pretty risky. Great. It should be mentioned that there is a difference between these two words, opiates and opioids. We can extract the chemical compound directly from the poppy plant, or on the other hand, we can go to a laboratory and through a complex chemical synthesis obtain that compound. In the first case, the product is called opiate, and obviously the other one is called opioid. It is common that chemical compounds are contaminated with other kind of substances. Thus, if we use some technique to purify, such as chromatography, solubilization, recrystallization, and not long, etc., we will obtain the pure chemical compound. Finally, if we advance in the studies of preformulation and formulation, we can establish a stable and safe medium to commercialize, for example, morphine. Okay, but you must ask, how does it work? It's kind of difficult for those who are not used to this topic, but it's enough with paying attention. In our bodies, we have receptors, and opioids are the ligands. It's something like the bolt and the key. Most of our receptors are located outside the cells, and once they form bonds with the ligand, there's a transduction pathway inside the cell that in certain point causes a response. The receptors involved are those ones from the family of the transmembrane G protein coupled receptor family. They are common in the brain, spinal cord, peripheral neurons, and digestive tract. Here we have a representation of the cell membrane. This little bluish thing right here is a transmembrane protein, which looks like this. Well, when the opioid binds with receptor, the space conformation of the protein changes. That means that the receptor alters its shape. Technically speaking, this is called intermolecular rearrangement between the transmembrane helices. That change causes at the same time various intracellular pathways. One of them is the blocking of voltage-dependent calcium channels in the cell membrane. Easily speaking, this causes neuronal hyperpolarization, which results in less release of pain-related neurotransmitters. Because of it, the release of dopamine is increased, and that is the reason of the euphoria. Right, so let's talk about something more digestible, the crisis. United States is a country who abuses from opioids. More than 2 million Americans have become dependent on or abuse prescription pain pills and street drugs. What do I mean by this? You will see this later. Well, the lack of control with the use of these drugs is so much that United States in 2015 represented almost 100% of the world's hydrocodone consumption. Why is that lack of control so worrying? Because it causes overdose deaths. In 2016, 66.4% of the overdose deaths were attributed to opioids. It's interesting that the number of opioid prescriptions dispensed by doctors increased year by year. In 1992, there were 112 million prescriptions, and in 2012, there were 282 millions. It's obvious that we have to consider the population growth rate, but it's still being alarming. Another question to make: why does Americans consume large amounts of opioids? Well, doctors receive economic stimuli from pharmaceutical companies to overprescribe. We had said before that using opioids may cause dependence because of tolerance. So, users need to take larger doses for the same effect. Finally, two things will happen: overdose or shift to other drug because of its power or cost. In this example, we are seeing the chemical structures of two opioids, the oxycodone and heroin, one of the most lethal drugs in the world. They are so similar, right? The difference are those extra ester groups. That's the reason of the shift, the great similarity between them. But for sure, the Department of Health and Human Services in the United States have done something about it. In summary, 5 important things: advance into better practices for pain management, improve the access to treatment and recovery services, promote the use of overdose reversing drugs, strengthen up the understanding of epidemic through better public health surveillance, and finally, provide support for cutting-edge research on pain and addiction. So, superficially, that's the thing up there in the US. If you are interested in this topic, please investigate from reliable resources and start a discussion in the comments down below. If you see any mistake in this video, let me know. And that's all. Thanks for watching this video.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.